Hello, I'm Mr. DeLauder, fourth grade teacher at Mount Hope, Nanjemoy. Me and my wife, we also own a small suburban farm, and today we're going to talk about how to decipher between a topic, a main idea, and how to support that main idea with details that you find in the text. And we're going to focus on just a paragraph today.
Sometimes it is very difficult to read a paragraph and kind of get the whole idea of what that paragraph is trying to tell you. The whole idea would be considered, in school we call it the main idea. In order to do this, sometimes it's a lot easier to start understanding it and picking out that main idea and finding the details if you can first write a paragraph that contains a main idea and the supporting details. So instead of just us trying to read a paragraph and find the main idea and the details, today what we're going to do is we are going to write a paragraph by coming up with a topic, then coming up with a main idea for that topic, the main point we're trying to get across, the main idea that we want our readers to learn when reading our paragraph. And then we're going to come up with the details that support it. So think of the details being like roots of a tree. Without those roots, that tree would fall over. Let's start by brainstorming. And what I did with this is we're brainstorming just some ideas. So I have some here. The biggest one that you see right here is crocodiles in the front. We have one over here that says tornadoes. Back in the back is something that's near and dear to me, is farming. Over here, video games. That's important for a lot of students nowadays. And Martin Luther King Jr. So these are all very different just topics. These aren't main ideas yet. Notice that these are just topics. What we're going to do with these topics is we're going to make or create a main idea that we could talk about from each of these topics. I'm going to show you an example here. So it says, now that we have decided on a topic, narrow down the topic to create a main idea. So for example, we have crocodiles right here. That is our topic. Our main idea is going to be crocodiles are built for hunting. All right. So notice how we took our topic and we got a little bit more specific with it. Crocodiles are built for hunting. Same thing we did with tornadoes here. Tornadoes are the topic, and then our main idea is tornadoes are extremely devastating. So this is how we go from a topic to a main idea. Now remember, this video is mainly going to be about how to find that main idea and the supporting details in a paragraph. However, writing and reading and speaking are all skills that we need to be literate. So literacy involves all of these skills. So we need to be able to, in order to read and find the main idea and details, we need to be able to write the main idea and details as well. And I have a feeling that this, by writing first, will help all students be able to locate that main idea and really find those details that support the main idea or hold it up or prove it.
In my real life, we own a farm, and on that farm, small farm, it's a suburban farm, but we do have chickens. Our chickens are a little noisy. You gonna say hi? We're gonna come into the chicken coop, and we have a little tiny small chicken coop. They're gonna be really loud in here because they're angry with our puppy. However, here are our chickens with our chicken coop. These are their egg laying boxes. Our topic today that we're going to talk about is going to be chickens. That's our topic. One word, chickens. Our main idea is going to be chickens are very useful farm animals. So that's our main idea. Let me rewind. Topic, chickens. Main idea, chickens are very useful farm animals. All right. Now stick with me, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a paragraph about chickens with the main idea of chickens being very useful farm animals, and then I'm going to come up with reasons that they're useful or what makes them useful. All right, stay tuned.
So the first thing I'm going to do is write our topic. Our topic today, like I said, is going to be chickens. Next. Whoops, what am I doing here? Main idea. Like I said before, our main idea is going to be chickens are a very useful, let's say, farm animal. Okay. Pretty simple main idea, not anything too tough. I'm gonna bold these just so we can keep track. Now, this is all planning. It says instead of, so this is pretty good. This is something I often tell students, and extremely useful. There we go. Let's change it to chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. Awesome. So I'm going to come down here. This is all my planning. I like to keep my thoughts ordered and planned out just so it makes sense while we're writing. One thing I want to focus on as well with my students in 4th grade, I want to make sure that they understand that writing is not an end-all process. While we're writing, it is fluid. What that means is we will never write something and just say, yep, that's perfect. Okay? When we're writing, it needs to be an ever-changing document. It always needs to change, so we need to focus on that. Okay, we're going to be focusing on, if I make a mistake, I'm going to change it. If it doesn't sound right, I'm going to go back and change it. I'm going to constantly write and reread to make sure it makes sense. When I start a paragraph, I need to indent. By doing that on the computer, I press the tab button. Now I'm going to start off with my main idea sentence. Chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. So this is the hardest part now. I've written down I'm going to make it more of a space here. Chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. Sounds pretty good to start off with. I'm going to focus on this word right here, useful. What is it about chickens that make them useful? Well, number one, chickens bring us eggs every day. A lot of times when you write this, you'll think, oh, that's one thing, that's support, so that's pretty useful. Eggs, right? You can eat eggs. Well, we need to give a little bit more information about that. So let's add something in there that's a little interesting. So it says, first, chickens lay eggs almost every day. So why is that useful, though? Well, our next sentence can say something like, I sure do love eating eggs for breakfast. So we used first as a word. A good word for our next sentence is just that, guys. Next. Next, chickens can provide a great source of, let me see, how can we say it? A great source of nutrients to your soil. That waste that comes out of the chicken provides a very good source of nitrogen. Farmers need nitrogen, so chicken manure is very rich in nitrogen. One of the best sources that you can use for your farm to grow those green leafy vegetables. So it says, next, chickens can provide a great source of nutrients to your soil. We need to elaborate on that. We need to give a little bit more information. Their manure provides much needed nitrogen. I don't need to capitalize that. Nitrogen for growing vegetables. Okay. This is when I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna reread everything to make sure it makes sense. Chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. First, chickens lay eggs almost every day. I sure do love eating eggs for breakfast. Next, chickens can provide a great source of nutrients to your soil. Their manure provides much needed nitrogen for growing vegetables. Yes! Now we're going to have one more. Remember I said we are going to have three details that support our main idea. The next one's going to be something that some people don't often know. Chickens are amazing eaters of insects, including mosquitoes and ticks. Okay, one thing we haven't had in a year and a half in our yard is ticks, because our chickens eat all of them. Their manure provides much needed nitrogen for growing vegetables. Next sentence is, finally, this tells everyone this is going to be our last supporting detail. Finally, chickens eat insects such as mosquitoes and ticks. Now I'm going to put a little bit of humor in here. It might not be humor like you guys are used to, but the humor means just a little bit of something in there to keep the writing interesting. So it says, finally, chickens eat insects such as mosquitoes and ticks. And I'm going to say, I don't know anyone that wants those insects around. I'm going to do one more sentence, and my last sentence is going to wrap everything up. Whoa. My last sentence is going to wrap everything up. It's going to be our conclusion sentence. In our conclusion sentence, we want to say our main idea again, but kind of in a different way. So we can change the words around a little bit. So our main idea is chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. Down here, I'm going to say, as you can see. Chickens I can't spell today, can really help a family out, period. So let's make sure, I'm going to go read this again. Chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. First, chickens lay eggs almost every day. I sure do love eating eggs for breakfast. Next, chickens can provide a great source of nutrients to your soil. Their manure provides much needed nitrogen for growing vegetables. Finally, chickens eat insects such as mosquitoes and ticks. I don't know anyone that wants those insects around. As you can see, chickens can really help a family out. Alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few things now. I'm going to highlight this first sentence right here, because that sentence is our what? You got that right. That sentence is our main idea. I'm going to highlight that in red. I'm going to come down here now and highlight my last sentence, because our last sentence is not our main idea. Well, I'm sorry. Our last sentence is called our what? Conclusion. Good. And it restates the main idea. Now, I want you to take your time, and I want you to go through, and I want you to find the 3 sentences in our paragraph that support our main idea. These 3 sentences are the sentences that support chickens are an extremely useful farm animal. I'm going to give you a little bit of time right now. What you will notice as you're going through, we have some sentences that support our main idea, that are the details. Then we have other sentences that I like to call helper sentences, or information sentences that give us more information, but they still stay on topic. Alright, so my first, I'm going to highlight this one. Our first sentence right here, I'll highlight in green. This is our first sentence that supports that they are very useful. All right. Our next sentence that supports is the one that starts with next. Next, chickens can provide a great source of nutrients to your soil. I'm going to highlight that one in green. And then the last detail is the one that says finally. I kind of gave that away when we were doing this. Okay, so here are our details. First, chickens lay eggs almost every day. Our second detail is next, chickens can provide great source of nutrients to your soil. And then our last detail is finally, chickens eat insects such as mosquitoes and ticks. So the remaining sentences that you see in black are sentences that we don't have to have in our paragraph, but since we are fourth graders, okay, even third, fourth, and fifth graders, I would expect to try to add a little bit more information in that paragraph to give us, not just to give us more information, but to make the paragraph a little bit more interesting, to tell us a little bit more. So this tells us a little bit of personal information about the writer. I sure do love eating eggs for breakfast. Obviously, if you didn't like eggs, then you wouldn't even be writing this paragraph. Okay? So this sentence explains why this sentence is a detail. Okay? Same thing with here. Their manure provides much needed nitrogen for growing vegetables. This explains this detail. And last but not least, this, I don't know anyone that wants insects around, explains this detail. So the sentences in black explain the sentences in green. This paragraph right here is a really good example of main idea and details. Come up with a topic. From that topic, come up with a main idea that you can come up with details for. So it could be about a video game that you love. All right, your topic would be Minecraft. Your main idea could be Minecraft is a very educational video game. And then down here, you would want to come up with 3 details that support how. How is the video game Minecraft educational? Guys, this would be a great talking part, or this would be a great persuasion for your parents to buy you certain video games. Come up with the reasons why these video games are going to help you learn. How are they going to help you learn? They're going to be educational. Your topic could be virtual education. And then your main idea could be virtual school sure is tough. And then your details could be all the things that make learning virtually tough. What are some things that make it so hard? You could even take the opposite and say, learning virtually sure has helped me out. Because I know some students that are actually helped out. Some students actually are doing better now that we're learning virtually, because there's less distractions. So I challenge you to do that now. Please get out a pencil and paper, and I would love for you to do that. And I would love for you to send them to me once you're done. I'm going to put my email address right here. delauder@ccboe.com. You can email me your paragraphs that you write, and if you do this, I will send something home in the next distribution for you. Okay? So if you email me right here at this email address your paragraph with a clear main idea and 3 supporting details, you will get something special in the next distribution. Okay? All right, guys, thank you for being on. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from all of you.